Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today is such an exciting day. Not well, it was not exciting just because I had a lot of car issues and my car's totaled now, which sucks. But I woke up this morning with, and I'm gonna have Mr. Edward Cullen here sitting with me. We got news that Stephenie Meyer, who's the author of the Twilight Saga, is releasing Midnight Sun. She's releasing Midnight Sun. So, if you don't know, I was, back in the day, a hardcore Twilight fan. Like, ridiculous, unhealthy, obsessive amount. And as soon as Breaking Dawn Part 2, the film came out, and all the Twilight, the hype around Twilight kind of faded away, I kind of leaned away from it. But this, when I got this news this morning, I felt like I was a freshman in high school again, my 14-year-old self being so freaking excited that we're getting Midnight Sun. Like, that just baffles me. Okay, so if you don't know, Midnight Sun is the version of Twilight, the first book, Twilight, told from Edward's point of view. And I still am to this day a hardcore Team Edward person. I always loved Edward. I thought he was such an interesting character. Even back when I was 13 reading Twilight for the first time, I just thought Edward was so fascinating, just because, he's a vampire, and, he wanted to kill Bella, but he was fighting the urge to do that. So that's going to be really, really fun to read for me, from his perspective. Because for a long time, Stephenie Meyer had the first few chapters of Midnight Sun on the website, just to give fans like a taste of it. And then she kept writing it. And this was back in 2008, when the first film was coming out. So she had a draft of Midnight Sun. It wasn't a full draft. It was like up to the meadow scene in the first book. And she sent it out to a few friends to, I guess, to kind of get feedback. And one of her friends actually leaked it on the internet. And so it got a lot of attention because, Twilight was starting to get really huge at that time. And yeah, it kind of just, I think, unmotivated her, which is a sad situation, and I understand why. But as a fan, I was a giant fan even back then, and I knew about Midnight Sun because everyone was talking about it, and it really broke my heart that we weren't getting it. Because, like I said, I'm a big Edward lover. I really love Edward, and so getting the first book from his perspective, and the first book, Twilight, is my favorite of this saga. I love the others. I don't like New Moon very much, but I like Eclipse, and I love Breaking Dawn. But Twilight is my favorite in the series, and so getting the entirety of the story from his perspective is just, it makes me very happy. I'm very, very excited about it. So what happened was for the past week, the countdown on Stephenie Meyer's website had been getting a lot of attention from the book community, and I guess from some people not in the book community. And we were all wondering what this countdown could be because it just randomly showed up. And from the way it looks, like the starry sky and stuff, I think a lot of us assumed it was going to be a sequel to The Host, which is also another book that Stephenie Meyer has been promising us for a long time, and we're not getting it. I hope we get it at some point, because I actually really love The Host. If you haven't read The Host yet, it's so good, and you need to read it. But I was going to be excited either way, whether it was a Twilight-related book or whether it was going to be a sequel to The Host. And So I woke up this morning feeling horrible because, you know, my car situation, with this news that it was actually Midnight Sun. And apparently it crashed the internet. No one could access Stephenie Meyer's website for a long time. And yeah, I think the publisher or someone had to finally go up on Twitter and post the information. So I'm still super excited. And it's a lot longer than Twilight. Because Edward doesn't sleep, so there's no sleeping points for him. So it's like 200 pages longer. It's almost 700 pages, which is insane. Let's see how long Twilight is, actually, since I have it here. So Twilight is 498 pages. So it's 500 pages. And the Midnight Sun is like 680 something pages or something like that. So I'm really stoked. I hope I like it, and I do plan to reread at least the first Twilight book before I read Midnight Sun, because I haven't read Twilight in a very, very, very long time. But yeah, so I need to complain about something real quick. And I hope they change it soon, or at least make it look a little nicer. But I'll put the cover right here. But I absolutely hate the cover. I don't like the way it looks. The pomegranate, I understand the symbolism because it's Hades and Persephone's. But I don't like it. I think it would have been better if... I think it should have been more in tune with, like, the fan art that came out like a decade ago, or even like the cover for Life and Death. I feel like something like that would have been really fun. But the pomegranate, even though it's symbolistic, I think it doesn't really look appealing. And I think the text is too big, because if you look on the Twilight cover, the text is kind of small. And it's that way on all the Twilight books. So I feel like the text needs to be a little bit smaller. But you know, that's just details. You're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, right? So yeah, I've been blabbering about this for too long. But I wanted to make a video now because we're getting it October 4th. And I do plan to do like a bookstore vlog, maybe a reading vlog. I haven't really decided yet because I don't know if I can. I don't react a lot to books, so whether or not I have genuine reactions is something I'm not sure about. But I'll think about it. But I'll definitely be doing a bookstore vlog. Hopefully all this coronavirus stuff is over by then, and we'll be able to have midnight release parties and stuff, because, you know, that was like a defining thing in the Twilight era, was all of the midnight releases that we got to do. For the movies, and I knew there was one for Breaking Dawn. I didn't get to go to it because I was out of town, but we did go to Childress. Y'all don't know where Childress is, but my mom's family lives in a small town, and there was a bigger town like 30 minutes away, and we went to the Walmart there and picked up a copy. But we didn't get to go to midnight releases, but I did get to go to every midnight release for the movies, and those were always the best. I actually met a few of my best friends through that, and so I'm just so excited, guys. I feel like I'm 13, 14 again, and finally have something Twilight related, like excitement that I haven't had since, you know, Breaking Dawn Part 2 was in theaters. So that was 8 years ago, so, you know, it's been a while. But yeah, I guess that's all I had to say, and I hope you guys are excited. Leave a comment below if you're excited like I am, and follow me on my Pocahontas Instagram if you want to know more about my dog collecting. But I'll go ahead and put my personal Instagram on here also. That's where I post a lot of my more personal or even like other fandom type stuff. And if you don't follow me there, you can as well. But yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. And I'll be back with some more doll-related videos very, very soon. Because I actually have a couple coming in today. So, yeah, I will talk to you guys next time. Bye. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. today is an exciting day. I'm trying not to look so inconspicuous because there's a car parked right in front of me. So I'm trying not to be as overly enthusiastic as I want to be right now. But today we are celebrating the much anticipated release of Midnight Sun, which is the companion novel to the Twilight Saga, which is the first book Twilight told from Edward's point of view. And so I'm really, really, really excited about this. Okay, and that car is gone. So back to me being really excited. But yes, I'm so pumped. So freaking excited about this. I've been waiting for this book for over a decade. I have a reaction video which kind of summarizes all my feelings as a whole when the book was first announced. So I'll leave that in the description. But I cannot believe the day is finally here. I remember reading those leaked chapters of Midnight Sun way back in the day and being so depressed that we weren't going to get this book. Because if you don't know, Stephanie was writing Midnight Sun forever up until, 2008, which is when she was in the middle of writing it. And this was like right before the big Twilight pandemonium started. This is before Breaking Dawn came out. This is before the very first Twilight movie came out. And we were all super pumped because I actually read the Twilight Saga in early 2008, before even Breaking Dawn was out. And so all the drama between Stephanie and Midnight Sun really just broke all of our hearts because, this was a book we were wanting. We want to know why Edward did the... Wow, words. We all want to know why Edward does what he does in the books because there are some problematic things in the story. I'm not saying there aren't. But Edward is such a fascinating character to me that, it would be nice to know why he does what he does and see if there's any good rational reasons for, some of the stuff that he does. But Edward is one of my favorite characters. I always loved Edward. I know he isn't that popular now. Well, I don't know. The reaction for Midnight Sun was pretty intense. So maybe he is still pretty popular. But I feel like the movies didn't completely do him justice. It made him look a lot more creepier than he actually is. No offense to you, Rob. You did the best that you could with what you got. So you know what? I think you did a good job. But yeah, I am so ready, super pumped for this. And yeah, and another car just parked in front of me. So I'm going to get off the phone. Oh, I am sitting in front of my Barnes & Noble, waiting for it to open. It opens in about 20 minutes. I was bored at home and didn't want to sit there anymore, so I came here. So that's what we're doing, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. So it'll be a good time. Thank you. Guys, I have it. Oh my god. And I was worried because this is like 672 pages, but I didn't realize they freaking printed on Bible pages and the text is pretty small. So this is probably a lot longer than 672 pages. It's probably closer to like 900 or something like that. Something crazy. I can't believe it's in my hands after 12 freaking years. Oh, and I also got because I saw this on Instagram and I was like, I want that. Sorry, I'm blocking you guys, but there's also from Hollywood Spotlight, The Ultimate Guide to Twilight, which you can see right here. It says 15th anniversary special. So it's been 15 years since Twilight came out, the first novel. So that's crazy. So I'll show you guys the book and everything once I get home, but I have to go run another copy of the book to one of my best friends, and I will see you guys here in a bit. Hey guys, and I'm back home finally. I just wanted to quickly show you guys what I got. I wasn't in Barnes & Noble very long. I was planning on vlogging more, but there were just too many people around and I was a little self-conscious, you know, if you vlog, you know how that is. But I did pick up some really cool things. First, of course, Midnight Sun. I'm super stoked about this. I've already reiterated that multiple times, but it's true. Like, this book means so much. And I'm so happy that we're finally getting it, and I can finally read it and experience the story from Edward's eyes. That's just really special to me. But I wanted to show you guys the book real quick. So it's like it's like a nice glossy dust jacket. It'll match the original Twilight books. It's the same material and everything. Of course, we have the pomegranate, we have the giant logo, which honestly, it doesn't look that bad in person. It's just, it doesn't match the other books. So that does bother me. So here's the cover. Sorry about the glare, guys, but it's just the material of the book. The pomegranate, and here's the side. Pomegranate, Midnight Sun. It says the Twilight Saga, Stephenie Meyer, and then little brown books. And in the back, it has a passage from the book with all the books in the saga here. And I did read this and I got goosebumps. It's whenever they talk about Edward sleeping. But I'll leave that there. But yeah, so there's that. I'm gonna go ahead and take the dust jacket off. So it's a standard Twilight book in terms of what it looks like. Just a hard black finish. Says Midnight Sun. And I did look at the title page because there is a picture on the back of the title pages for the most part. So I'm going to be very careful with this because I do not want to bend this at all. So it says Midnight Sun there. And then it says Midnight Sun here. And then you can see a very romantic statue here. And then of course there's the publishing information there. And then real quick, because it is kind of lengthy, but I want to go ahead and read the dedication that Stephenie wrote. It says, "This book is dedicated to all the readers who have been such a happy part of my life for the last 15 years. When we first met, many of you were young teenagers with bright, beautiful eyes full of dreams for the future. I hope that in the years that have passed, you've all found your dreams and that the reality of them was even better than you hoped." Stephenie. It's really emotional, honestly. After so many years, and I can't imagine how hard this whole thing must have been on Stephenie. Because this is her baby, and she couldn't enjoy it the way that she wanted to. And I'm happy that she felt comfortable enough to finish the story for us, so she can finally put it behind her and she can move on with her life and do other projects. So it's really special to have this finally. And I wanted to go ahead and show you guys real quick. I saw this on Instagram yesterday and I was like, I need this too. It's from Hollywood Spotlight and it is the Ultimate Guide to Twilight 15th Anniversary Special. I just flipped you guys off, I'm so sorry. 15th Anniversary Special. Talking about the saga, everything Twilight, the films. I haven't bought one of these magazines in so many years. But yeah, it shows us pretty much everything to know about the saga and the films. So I'll be really excited to flip through this and revisit. Here's the opening page. so nostalgic of one of the very first promotional images we got for Twilight, the film. But yeah, so really excited about this, and really excited about this. So yeah, I guess I'm going to wrap it up here so I can go read and enjoy spending time with Edward Cullen again. I did reread Twilight about a month ago. I was planning on reading the entire saga, but I read Twilight and New Moon. But I have my Twilight reading blog. I'll leave that in the description below so y'all can go see my thoughts and opinions on the first book. And I'm excited to see how Stephanie has grown as an author and how she can finally attack the story in a way that makes her even happier than she has been. So, okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this very quick video. I hope you guys enjoy Midnight Sun, and I feel like this is probably going to be one of my favorite books of all time once it's over, just because of the impact and how much it means to me and how much it means to all of us, you know? So I'm going to go read. I hope you guys enjoy. Leave a link, comment below if you've read it and what you thought about it. I'm really excited. So, okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Hey guys, so it's day one of reading Midnight Sun. I didn't really read a ton yesterday. I was dealing with some other things, but I am past the 100-page mark. I'm like on page 115-ish. Actually, I have the book here with me. Let me see what page we're on. 118, actually. And I have my trusty Edward Cullen bookmark to help me keep my place in the book. I just wanted to go ahead and talk about some things real quick. First, I am having the best freaking time reading this book. I just, like y'all know, I reread Twilight about a month ago, or a little over a month ago, and had a blast reading it. I didn't know if I was going to like it or have my same the same sentiments as I had before, but I am absolutely loving this saga all over again. And I love being in Edward's head. I love it, love it, love it. I'm trying not to be spoilery, but I think this is going to be a spoilery type of video. So if you haven't read the book, probably you might want to just, you know, hold off until you've read it and then you come back and watch my video. But I'm loving the voice that Stephanie has given us in terms of how Edward thinks and how he speaks. I think what I'm really surprised is that this book is really reminding me of The Host in the sense that it's a very internal novel. I mean, the Twilight Saga is too, but it doesn't feel as, I don't know. Like, I feel like Edward has more thoughts than Bella does, and I don't know if that's completely fair or if that has something to do with his vampirism, but I'm really enjoying the way that we're really getting a glimpse into Edward's head. He's so relatable to me at this point. I think there's some really good aspects of Edward that I can tie to myself. Like, I'm not the nicest person, and I'm not the most positive person in the world. I'm pretty pessimistic, honestly. And Edward is that, you know, throughout the whole saga, and we know that through Bella's eyes. But seeing Edward's reasoning behind it and why he's so tortured all the time is pretty epic as a Twilight fan. Because, yes, he's told us before, but we don't get to see it in a more coherent way that makes it a more visceral experience, you know, since it's coming from Edward. Stephanie's writing style between Twilight and this book is staggering. And I know there's a 15-year difference. This is her 6th novel now, or something like that. And it's just unbelievable. I mean, Edward is a very sophisticated person to begin with, so I think that really... And so what's really cool is that Stephanie's writing style now really matches how Edward speaks and how he thinks in a more coherent way, I think. So I think that's really awesome. I'm really surprised about how the interactions with Bella are coming up. Because I don't know, it just says. I guess it's because since Edward is such he can sense a lot of details at once. Maybe some of the dialogue and whatnot is kind of falling through. But I mean, we're getting our same reactions or same discussions that we had in the original Twilight novel. But it's just different now, because Edward is noticing everything about Bella, what she's doing, what her eyes are doing. Our eyes are a giant part of this book. And what other people are doing around him, and like his own internal dialogue. It's just, there's a lot going on during these conversations, and it's pretty refreshing, honestly. I want to talk about real quick. I know I'm all over the place, but seeing Bella from everyone else's perspective really makes you appreciate how wonderful of a character she actually is. Because I think Bella doesn't get the credit that she deserves. I think people are very unfair to her. I don't think her criticisms are very valid. But from seeing, especially watching Edward fall in love with her, because I mean, he's already declared that he loves her to himself. And so watching him fall in love with her has been really beautiful for me personally, because we get to see how good of a soul Bella actually is. And we've been seeing a lot of things that were not in the original Twilight novel about some of the good deeds that Bella has done. Like adding that kid to her and Mike's science group, saving Eric. Was it Eric? Yeah. Eric from being ridiculed about Comic-Con. And I think that was a really cool thing that Stephanie did, because, Twilight and Comic-Con go hand in hand pretty much. And we get to see Bella be such a very beautiful character. And as someone who's always loved Bella, I love Bella a lot. It's really nice to have some validation in concrete form, because, I loved Bella in the films too. Although I think Kristen Stewart did something different than what she was a different Bella than what I was wanting, and how I think the book portrayed Bella. But I like that we're getting that aspect in this novel, and I'm loving everything going on. Jasper and Rosalie got on my nerves a lot. Rosalie gets on my nerves regardless, but in this book so far, like, oh my god, like that conversation about after Edward saves her really grind my gears when they're all sitting there and Jasper wants to go kill Bella, and I did not know that. This is new information to me. I knew Rosalie wanted her dead, but I didn't know Jasper wanted her dead, and that he was going to be one to do it. I was just like, what is happening? Why? What? But of course, that doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. But I want to say, like, there's two scenes in this book that have made me teary-eyed. And one is during that colon conversation, Alice talks about how, oh god, I'm tearing up just thinking about it. She tells Jasper that he cannot kill her because she loves her, or she's going to love her, and they're going to be best friends, and she doesn't want him to take that away from her. And of course, she sees Edward falling in love with her too, and she doesn't want that to be taken away from him either. And that whole conversation really got to me. I was at work reading this when this conversation came up. I was trying so hard not to cry, but that was such a beautiful moment. I love Alice. I freaking love Alice. I've loved Alice since the beginning, and that still holds true now. And we get even more beautiful, in-depth look at Alice through Edward's eyes, and it's wonderful. And the second one is Edward sneaking into Bella's room when she's sleeping. I know that's a big controversial thing that goes on in the Twilight Saga, but Edward's commentary before then is spot on. It's so funny to me, talking about how he's like, well, we've committed murder. We are rich because we've done like financial stuff that other people can't do because we're sidekicks, so we can see things coming, which is not really fair. It's not very human. So since we've done all this stuff, what's one more thing to add to the list? I'll just break and enter, which doesn't sound very well, and I wish Stephanie would have tackled that subject a little bit better, because that's something that's going to come up in you know, people that are going to be critical of this novel. Maybe she'll attack it later. I don't know. I'm already spending too much time on the first 100 pages, but I just want to let you guys know that I'm loving it so freaking much. This book is meaning the world to me. Edward, once again, is one of my favorite characters, and I'm loving seeing this story play out through his eyes. So I'll be back for another update at some point, maybe within the next 100 pages. So I'll see you guys then. Hey guys, I'm back. So I'm reading the part where Edward and Bella are having their little lunch discussion. You know, the one where Edward invites Bella to sit with him. I love reading this part from his perspective. I really do. It's one of my favorite parts of Twilight. A part that I wish was in the film, but they changed it to that kind of awkward salad bar exchange in the film. But anyway, I really, really love hearing this from Edward's perspective. Because I like seeing why he's saying this stuff that he says, and how he's taking in the whole situation. I'm really loving this part, very much so. So, no, I don't have really anything else to say about it, but I do love this part, and I'm still immensely enjoying myself. So, I'll be back with another update at some point. Okay, it's only a couple minutes later, but when Edward freaking keeps the little bottle top to Bella's lemonade as a souvenir for this occasion, my heart, my freaking heart, oh my gosh. It hasn't been that much later now. I'm already freaking out about something, okay? So, Bella just fainted, and from the blood typing scene. And Edward is sitting here talking about how he really loves the idea that Bella would find him attractive. And I'm dying. I'm dying. Oh my god. I do think it's interesting, though, about how a lot of the stuff going on is happening in such a short amount of time. Like, we just got a paragraph, or like pretty much a page and a half, of Edward talking about how intense the love is between, you know, Carlisle and Esme, Jasper and Alice, and Rosalie and Emmett. We got like a page and a half of that, and then Edward just casually goes, oh, and Bella's still closing her door. He started thinking about that as soon as she started getting in the car. And she's just now shutting her door, when Edward had a page and a half of thoughts going on. This book is full of little gems like this, and I'm living for it. I think what's interesting, and something that I don't think any of us really considered, is that Edward has fallen completely in love with Bella, even faster than Bella fell in love with him, which is crazy because, you know, Bella always got a lot of flack for falling in love with Edward so fast, but the fact of the matter is Edward fell in love with her so much quicker. They haven't proclaimed their love. I mean, they haven't really actually, for the most part, hung out yet. For the like, we haven't gone even to the Seattle or the Port Angeles trip yet or anything. So, and Edward got to fall in love with her through the eyes of other people, which is very interesting to me, and it's something I never really thought about. But watching it unfold is such a treat. I'm loving this book so much. Edward writing Bella's lullaby. So perfect. Oh. Hey everyone, so I moved to my desk. I'm still, of course, I'm still reading Midnight Sun. I'm only on page 184. I'm a slow reader, so this is going to take a while. But I'm to the part where Bella and Edward are in the Bella Italia, is that what it's called? The restaurant in Port Angeles after Edward saves her from the rapists or whatever they are. And it's just, I'm so baffled because, reading Twilight from Edward or from Bella's point of view is constantly thinking Edward is so perfect. And I mean, in the back of your mind, that can't possibly be true. And it's just so surprising that Midnight Sun, I mean, he's a very flawed character. He has a lot of insecurity. Which is kind of surprising. I guess it shouldn't be, because it's, now thinking about it, it's probably always been there, but like, he's so surprised that Bella would have any interest in him whatsoever is just really surprising to me whenever, in the back of your mind, since you've read Twilight, you know how much she is infatuated with him and how she spent a lot of her time, before they declared their love for one another, that how much time she spent thinking about him. It's just such a very interesting contrast, and I'm enjoying that aspect of the book. Edward's development is really something special, I think, especially reading it in Midnight Sun, because we start off in the book with a very cold start to him. And I kind of wish we got more of before Bella arrived. It'd been nice to be around him for like a day or two before she arrived, just to see him in his full element, to see what he was like beforehand. But watching his frozen heart melt has been pretty special. And a very special gift to someone like me who absolutely loves this story and loves these characters. So, yeah, I'm going to get back to reading, but I am loving that aspect of the story very much. I'm still at the Bella Italia scene, and I'm still loving the inner conflict of whether Edward should tell Bella the truth. Like I said, there's so much insecurity with him. And it's pretty refreshing to see, honestly. Like, now that I think about it more, there's definitely that element in the original Twilight books, but since we are in Edward's head, it's just really refreshing to see that he is really unsure of himself in every possible way and doesn't think himself as a redeemable person in the slightest. So I'm really enjoying this, Stephanie. Really enjoying it. So I've just read the part where Edward tells Bella that he's a vampire. And it's just so funny because, I mean, we know her reaction because we've read Twilight, but it's so funny reading it from his perspective because he's there's this whole paragraph about, he was like, Carlo can give her the best care, he can find her like the best therapist, the best sinner to keep her in, because like her reaction to this thing is just so insane to him about him being a vampire, and she's like, it doesn't matter. And he's like, she's insane. She's literally insane. She loves danger. She's an adrenaline junkie. So Carlisle can help her find the best therapist around. I thought this was so funny. I think it's so funny. But yeah, so I'm still enjoying this quite a bit. So, and I'm only 200 pages in. I still have about 400 and something pages to go. So we're going. Let me just read you something real quick. This is page 207. I knew it could be nothing in comparison to how I loved her. She was mortal, changeable. She wasn't locked in with no hope of recovery, but still, she cared enough to risk her life to sit here with me, to do so gladly. Edward doesn't think Bella loves him as much as he loves her. Oh, Oh, you naive little vampire. You just wait. I don't know if you can see the tears in my eyes right now. This... Why didn't this ever come up in the Twilight book? The stupid freaking bottle cap is really getting to me. Does this ever come up in the saga? I don't even know. But Edward has the bottle cap in his pocket. And he's dropping Bella off at her house. Because it's a token of her. I can't. Hey guys, it is day 2 of reading Midnight Sun. I just got off work early, so I'm gonna go home and read some more, but I read a ton yesterday. You've seen most of my reactions for that. But I also have been reading a lot this morning at work because it's a slow day. And we got a lot of backstory in terms of how Edward and Carlisle lived together, at least the first year after Carlisle turned Edward. And it's just, I'm loving seeing all of this stuff that we never got in the original Twilight novel. There's so much context now. It's just unbelievable how much context we're getting. And I am really excited for more. We met Siobhan and Maggie, who we met in Breaking Dawn. I don't remember exactly who they are. I haven't read Breaking Dawn in a bit. Like I said, I didn't actually get to finish my reread of the saga before this, but we got to talk to them for a minute and see their first reactions to Edward. After, that year after Carlisle turned him. And there's this really cute scene of Carlisle was finally testing Edward's ability to be around people. So he let Edward do a trial run. And while he was doing that, it was Christmas. And so while Edward was doing that, Carlisle put up a Christmas tree while he was gone. And it was just the sweetest thing. I love these characters way too much. But, okay, so now I am at the part where we're about to go to the meadow. And the meadow is, the climactic scene in Twilight. Very famous, infamous, I guess I should say, scene. The one that started all. The one that Stephenie Meyer dreamed of. And we got Bella's perspective on the whole thing. And Edward it's just really, it's hard to imagine Edward being so self-conscious. He's banking that Bella's going to be too afraid of him or be too disgusted by him and run away. It's literally every other sentence. Edward's like, she's going to run away. She's going to finally realize that I'm a monster. She's finally going to be repulsed by me. And I hate it. But it's a necessary thing. And this is going on for a while now. And, of course, we know how Bella thinks throughout this whole process. And so I'm really excited to see how the meadow's going to play out. We're almost there. This is just such a special book. It's such a gem. I'm so blessed that we finally got this book after 12 years. I'm really loving it. It might be my favorite Twilight book. I think it might be my favorite Twilight book. It's kind of hard to say, though, because I love the first Twilight book so much. But, yeah, I think this might be my new favorite Stephenie Meyer book. So, okay, I'm going to go back to reading at some point, and I'll update you guys later. Hey, everyone, so it's much later in the day now. But I'm in the middle of the meadow scene, which is just as glorious as ever. I'm not going to go too much into the meadow scene because we all know what we wanted out of it, and that's exactly what we're getting. It's funny though, because the way that Bella describes the meadow scene seems Edward is like, I always thought that Edward felt comfortable enough to show his true strengths as a vampire, to show her like what he can do, and that was more lighthearted. But actually, when you read from his perspective, he's throwing a fit at himself for existing, pretty much, and being this danger to Bella. So it's really interesting that all these years I thought Edward was very lighthearted in this entire scene, but actually he's disgusted with himself, which I guess shouldn't be a surprise because he's been disgusted with himself the entire time. But it's just a really interesting thing. And I mean, the meadow scene is emotional to begin with, but then I'm on page 354 and he's telling us now about coming home after leaving Carlo and Esme when he went out on his own, and talking about their reunion, and it's just so sweet and so heartfelt. Esme really loves Edward. She really loves Edward. And we don't really see a lot of her, so we don't really think about it that much, but man, the way all the new facets of the Cullen family that we're getting out of this is just epic. I'm loving everything about it. Hey everyone, so I'm back. I took a good chunk of time off from reading just because I want to savor this book and make it last as long as possible. But I just am about to start chapter 19. We're after all the meadow stuff. Yeah, and I love, one of my favorite parts of the Twilight book is the conversation that they have in Bella's room after the meadow, and Edward stays the night with her knowingly for the first time, and how they talk about their attraction for one another and how they want to be intimate with one another. And getting it from Edward's point of view has been very insightful, and it's really interesting because a lot of this stuff that was said in Twilight, I always figured they were more lighthearted conversations, but now reading Midnight Sun, some of these things are actually pretty dark and pretty Edward has a lot of self-loathing, so his thoughts are definitely a lot more pessimistic, which is very interesting to me. And that everything that I thought I knew from the first book is not necessarily true. But anyway, going back to Edward's physical desires, that's actually one of the aspects of his character that I did not think I wanted to know about. But it's come up several times in the book. And I'm actually really enjoying that aspect of his character because it's definitely making him seem more human. This book is definitely humanizing Edward in a way that we've never had before. So I'm definitely appreciating that aspect of this book. And yeah, that's my check-in for now. I'm still loving this book so freaking much. I'm pretty sure this is my favorite Twilight book. And yeah, I'm still in love with this book. And also, page 416 gave me a lot of feelings. Since this is the first time Bella has said that she loved Edward. And it's in her sleep, so she's not even doing it consciously. I'm getting all these feelings all over again. Okay, I'll see you guys on my next update. Hey guys, I haven't updated you in a couple of days. I read a lot, but I didn't feel like filming. So I'm trying to think where I left you guys off at. I'm about done with the book. I have less than 100 pages left. But you know, we've done all the James stuff with the nomadic vampires. Vampire baseball was really cool. I didn't think I was gonna like that part because I'm not a sports guy at all. But getting the detailed look at the game was super cool to me, so I enjoyed that. It was really interesting to see that Victoria is actually like a scaredy cat, which is crazy because she becomes our main villain for the next 2 books. So that was really interesting to see her mindset and get really good sense of James as a tracker. He's pretty lethal, but not really. Like going to let's just skip to the battle at the ballet studio. First of all, let me just say, like, it was really interesting to see how Edward, Emmett, and Carlisle were tracking James and, you know, trying to lure him away from Bella and everything. All that stuff was really interesting to me. But once we got to the ballet studio, I mean, they broke a lot of rules, a lot of laws to get to that ballet studio. So much speeding, so many car accidents, like it's ridiculous. Like you went a little bit overboard there, guys. I think maybe a little bit. But was it just me? But I was a little disappointed in the resolve with James, because you know in Twilight we don't really get to see it because Bella's unconscious and dealing with all the pain, you know, which we still get a good dose of that. But the resolve with James just kind of ended. Like they showed up and he was dead within like 2 seconds, which is crazy. Yeah, I just wish there was a little bit more there. I was expecting like the movie, because the movie has like an actual fight scene, which I really enjoyed. So I was picturing that as we were reading, you know. And I'm at the part now where Bella is at the hospital. And the chapter is called 3 Conversations. We heard the conversation between Carlisle and Charlie, which was so heartwarming. And I love Charlie. He deserves all the happiness in the world. So I loved that conversation. I really liked the conversation with Renee. Edward meets Renee, and that was really, really, really interesting. And we haven't gotten to the 3rd conversation yet, and I'm assuming that's going to be Edward's conversation with Bella. So we haven't gotten to that part yet, but I'm sure it's going to happen anytime now. But yeah, so those are my major thoughts right now, and I'll be back later for more. I'll probably be done with my next update. So I'll let you guys know what I think overall once we're done. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Well, it is currently just past 1 a.m. and I finished Midnight Sun. I'm very happy, but I'm also extremely sad. I'm pretty sad, actually. So sad. I don't want to end this on the bad note, so I'll be back tomorrow to give you guys my final thoughts. I can't believe it's done. Okay, good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, it is the day after finishing Midnight Sun, and I just had some thoughts that I want to go ahead and get out of the way here. Overall, I love this book. It was everything that was promised and more, I feel like. I think Edward as a character has become fully fleshed out now for me. Not that he wasn't fleshed out before, but I just feel like we got just so much more content of him that he actually feels more easier to grasp as a character now, which is awesome. I believe his story. I understand why he does everything that he does now. Granted, like some of the sneaking in and stuff is problematic, and is kind of cringy nowadays, but I understand the compulsion to need to do that. Which I don't know what that says about me, but like, I get it. I understand why he's so infatuated with Bella. Bella feels like she feels fleshed out too, which is really interesting because we had 4 books with her, but we got a lot more content from afar as opposed to being in her head. So we really got a sense of who she was as a person as opposed to her internal dialogue, because in that case, she's not a reliable narrator. So it was really nice to see that. I loved all the Cullens, except Rosalie. I still have issues with Rosalie. So she was the downfall character-wise in this book for me. But I loved everyone else. Jasper really irritated me at the beginning, but I really grew to love him again. Love Alice, of course. Alice is always fantastic. And then, of course, we had so much Emmett content. And he's probably my favorite Cullen after Edward now. I just really, really enjoyed him. I thought he added so much to this book. So I really loved him. And, of course, Carlisle and Esme are always great, and I really loved reading reading Edward's perspective of them and getting those flashbacks. I think I do have a couple of issues. Some of the editing of the book probably needed another run because there were so many typos and things were worded weird. So I feel like it needs another pass through for future publications. And also I feel like I wish the plot with James would have been a little bit more, because it just kind of ended abruptly. So those are really my only issues with the book. Overall, I think this book is amazing. I'll definitely be rereading it. I'll probably start a reread pretty soon. And yeah, it was just so great to get new Twilight content, and I'll be looking for new Twilight content in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know below if you've read Midnight Sun and if you enjoyed it. And like, subscribe, and follow me on my Instagram where we talk about all things fandom. And that's about it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.